My name is Marty Dickinson with the Here Next Year Web Marketing Club, and it is my esteemed privilege to have as a guest Scott Friedman with me today. He is one day away before his big book launch called Celebration a Day, 365 Ways to a Happier, Healthier Workplace. And I just finished reading this book this morning, and my calendar already has stuff on it, Scott. I've been working with people for 20 years in my business, and I have contractors, I've had full-time employees, I've had all kinds of staff, been through the hiring process dozens and dozens of times, and you know what? I have never had any education on this topic before. So I'm excited to bring this to my club members and others that we will be promoting this to. Thank you, Scott, for being with me today.
Oh, it's a real pleasure. Well, you're overdue for a little celebration in your life then.
Apparently so, yes, and how fitting right before the Christmas holiday here that we get to that. So, Scott, I would like to just kind of kick this off. This is just meant to be a casual conversation between you and me, and we're just going to sort of dive into this topic a little bit and educate people as to why you got involved with this topic, what the book is about, and how it can help them and their business. And so let's just get going. First of all, the first thing that I'd like you to answer for me is to give me a description. Celebration in the workplace. What exactly does that mean?
Well, celebration really is defined as acknowledging all that is good. So the good work that you do, the people that you do it with, the people that you do it for. It's when your to-do list becomes your done list. And it's acknowledging the little and the big milestones along the way. That's really what celebration is.
So how is that important to a company overall?
Well, if you look at what keeps CEOs up at night, the one thing that's always on that list that the conference board, the surveys that they do is human capital. How do we engage employees? How do we keep our best talent? And so celebration leads to more engaged employees, which leads to higher productivity and better team performance. So at the end of the day, it really impacts the bottom line.
Okay, so there are a lot of companies out there. I know a lot of people that work for some big companies, and this kind of thing is never talked about. Matter of fact, if you give any kind of celebration, you might even be frowned upon as being just sort of not paying attention, not focusing on your work, taking time away from your work, just having fun all the time. How does a company go about changing their culture to even be able to accept celebration in the workplace?
Well, first, those companies are still around that don't embrace it. Well, maybe not for much longer. Well, it really just starts with recognizing that that's important. And you look at whose responsibility celebration is, or really employee engagement is in the workplace. And is it HR? Is it at the C level? Is it every individual's responsibility? And my answer is it's everybody's responsibility. But first, it starts at the top because attitude flows downhill. And once it's accepted that, hey, we need to create a happier, healthier workplace. How can we go about it? Then these are some wonderful ideas to increase team performance and better productivity.
So you could have written this book at any time in your career. Why now?
Well, it started about 5 years ago, honestly. And at the time, I was looking for my unique angle on employee engagement because I was speaking at a lot of HR conferences around the world and had spoken early on in my career and written books on humor in the workplace. So this was a natural extension. And plus, I'm the kind of guy that likes to celebrate everything. So it was a perfect match for me. But also because it really it makes good sense, and I think it's one of the most effective ways to engage employees and create happier, healthier workplaces. So why not me write the book on it?
That's perfect, and you are so celebrational, that is for sure. Tell us a little bit more about that. What drew you personally into this topic?
Well, it started on a bus on the way to Petronas Learning Center in Malaysia. I was serving at the time on a board of advisors for a company in Malaysia, and another one on the board was a professor of business in Amsterdam for the university. We were just chatting, and he was walking me through a process about what my unique spin on life was, and on this process of employee engagement, and we landed on celebration. So again, I think the real key is the fact that it personally matches my values and who I am, and at the same time really is one of the most effective and efficient ways to create a happier, healthier workplace.
Mm-hmm. And you are essentially the CEO of your own company. You have helpers that help you get things done. How do you work specifically with them toward celebration? Like a practice what you preach type of thing. That's what I'm looking for.
I am the Chief Celebration Officer here at Friedman and Associates. So
there you go.
one of the rituals that we do every Friday is called Wine, Wow, and Wine Friday. So we start off with a beverage of choice at the about 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, and that's the first wine. And then the wow is we share a win of the week. What did we do? We'll both share one, or if there's three of us at any given time, we'll all three share. What went well. Let's brag a little bit. Let's celebrate something that happened during the week that we're proud of. So that's the wow. And then the wine is, what didn't work so well. Or it's a great chance for us to talk candidly about something that may be on our minds, because it's great to clear the air before the weekend and also learn the lesson from what didn't work so well, or how we can work better together, or how we can better serve our clients. So that's one thing that works very well for us in being able to celebrate every week. We know we're going to have one ritual at least.
Mm-hmm. And how have you, as the owner of your own business, how have you seen that mentality, that culture that you've built to impact your employees, your helpers? I mean, how have they grown with this mentality of celebrating?
I think the whole open communication, that channel is very effective in creating a dialogue that allows us to move forward together and really map out a path that's good for all of us. So I think you do see just the fact that you're closer, and that that we can chat about things, and that we want to, it's an intentional that we want to have a happy workplace.
Mm-hmm. Great. One of my favorite people that I've worked with over the years, and you have too, Joe Saba, has always said that first you need to do, and then you've earned the right to write a book about it. So you are living proof that you really do practice what you preach with this book. And I was going through this morning through this book, and there really are 365 things you can do, and you can add them to the calendar, just like I started doing already. We have a Tuesday meeting, every Tuesday meeting, and I wrote down adding humor to a meeting agenda. You have a group sing-along is something you can do. Adding celebration to a company picnic. Making a game out of getting your work done. I really like that one. Having an in-office spelling bee contest. So, there are some really unique things here that I've just never even thought about. And I haven't even taken the time that these things could even exist. So this is all very new to me, and I'm sure it is to a lot of people out there as well. I was wondering if you could pick one example from your book.
One idea that seems to work very well is the best of the best. This is an idea when we were interviewing Mary Laverty, who lives in Colorado, wrote a book called Stop Screaming at the Microwave. The idea of every meeting should start off with something positive before you get into what doesn't work. You talk about revolutionize. I think it's done that for Ritz-Carlton. Not that they've used the best of the best from me, but they have what's called the lineup, which is essentially the best of the best. They start off at every meeting talking about what they're doing well, how they've created this service mentality in all their Ritz-Carlton properties around the world. And by starting with something that's what works well, sharing a service moment, sharing something from TripAdvisor that a guest had written, So I recommend that. It's such a great idea to start off a meeting because you immediately pick up that enthusiasm. You have momentum now. It's great for holiday parties, receptions, networking events, to simply ask, hey, what exciting thing is going on in your life? So it's a matter of you're focusing on the positive instead of the negative.
Great. I'm trying to take notes as you're speaking. That's great. Thank goodness I'm recording this. Lots of good stuff so far. I really just have one more question for you, Scott. I know that people are really busy, and especially with Amazon, they'll download a book and they'll read one page and they'll say, oh, I'll come back to this later. And of course they never do. So I always like to ask this question of authors. If there was just one sentence in your book, only one thing that people would give 30 seconds to reading and then all of a sudden they are gone forever, what would you want them to walk away from reading that one portion of the book?
Geez, that's so tough because there's 365 good ideas and you never know which idea is going to resonate with people. So I think, I believe in karma, that you just open up the book to a certain page and that is the celebration you need for that day. Let's go with that.
That's terrific. And there are so many great ideas in this book. Again, this book is titled Celebration a Day, 365 Ways to a Happier, Healthier Workplace by Scott Friedman. And the book launch is tomorrow, the 20th of December, 2017. And Scott, I just would like to thank you and wish you the best of luck with this book launch. It's going out to everybody on my lists, and I'm going to strongly urge them to get this, because whether you work in an environment with 1,000 employees or you are a party of one and use contractors on a part-time basis, I mean, you should be celebrating with them. Celebrate all the things that happen in your business, and it really can revolutionize the way that you do business and establish a whole new culture and direction for how you work with people. So it's just genius. Good job, Scott. Thanks for taking my call today. Now, where can we get this book? Can you just send us off with a where to go to find out more about you and the book?
You can find it on scottfriedman.net would be one place. Just click on products and you'll see it there, or even go on to Amazon. You'll find it there as well. Thanks, Marty. It was a pleasure speaking with you this morning.